Writers are ambitious people. You may not phrase it that way, but you want to be writing well, you want success for your writing, and you want people to read it. You want to be rewarded, and maybe you want to be recognized a little bit. That's totally fine. I'm Julie Duffy, and I've been running the StoryADay May challenge for 15 years now, and I've learned a thing or two about writing, writers, and staying in this game. So in today's live, welcome everybody, I'm going to talk a little bit about something I realized recently that might help you with that discouragement you feel sometimes when you're not living up to your own expectations. And I am going to give you a writing prompt so that you can go and immediately put all this enthusiasm into practice. So let me tell you first a story. Over the past few years, my eyesight has been causing me problems. And I've always been very nearsighted. I have recently become long-sighted, and apparently I had cataracts as well. So the world was becoming very hazy. And I used to wear these glasses to correct a couple of those issues, but they couldn't correct the cataract issue. But I just want you to take a look at this. Look at the size of these glasses. These are the thinnest glasses I can get. They weigh 1.35 ounces. And that gets pretty heavy on your face all day. I do wear contact lenses as well, but today I picked up after eye surgery in March. My eyesight is almost perfect, but I have these glasses just to help tweak it the last little bit. Look, the lack of distortion here. Imagine how distorted my world looked before that. I can barely feel them. This is like wearing sunglasses. This is a thing I've not experienced in about 30 years. No edge, just thin glasses. So there's the vanity part of it, which lets me go, ooh, look, these are cute. But there's the whole looking out at the world and seeing everything crystal clear for the first time in years, seeing bright colors, knowing that my vision is correctable, at least for now, and that I can see the world for a few more years in its, in all its splendor. So here's why I'm telling you this story. I hadn't realized how much the difficulty I was having with reading and focusing on computer screens and seeing into the distance, had not realized how much that was getting me down until it was corrected. And now I'm like gleeful the whole time, smug in the words of my sister. Not just because I've got good vision, but because it's so much better than it was. It's like a weight has been lifted. And I've got much more energy for everything else. And this was because of a problem I hadn't really ever articulated until I went to an optician and said, can you fix these? And he went, yeah, but not by doing the normal stuff. So my reason for talking about this with you, a writer, is that sometimes we are not making progress. We're struggling. We're pushing against something that we don't even know is there, and it affects everything in our lives. This inability to read well, or see a computer screen well, or enjoy going out into the world was getting me down. And it wasn't until it went away that I stopped being so hard. I realized there was a lightness there. So there may be things in your life that are weighing on you. And you sit down to write because writing was always your refuge. Writing was the place you went to get away from everything. But sometimes, especially as you become an adult, these things weigh you down. Or maybe you've got a physical problem, or maybe there's there's something that's getting between you and your writing. And as intellectual brainiac people, we tend to think we can think our way out of everything. And I would like to invite you today to consider that the reason you're finding it difficult to write, or it feels like you're trudging uphill, or that you're avoiding your writing altogether, might be because of something external. Maybe you can be a little easier on yourself and say, you know what? I've got 4 kids under the age of 6, and this moment in my life, it's okay for me to be a little less ambitious about my writing and how much I produce. And it doesn't matter if there are other people out there who seem to be doing it all and writing, and you don't know what's going on in their lives. You don't know if they're on the verge of a breakdown. You don't know if their marriage is about to break up. we have to take a breath and look at what's going on for us and be a little kinder to ourselves. Maybe there's something that's stopping you from having writing be as easy as you would like it to be, or from having you be as successful as you want to be. I'm not saying you should just sit back and be a victim and be like, oh, well, it's never going to work out for me. Just that on any given day, don't beat yourself up and say, oh, I was never meant to be a writer because something's getting between you and your writing. Maybe look around, see what it is, see if you can fix it. Or watch out for when the fix happens and your mood lifts and everything seems possible again, and run towards your goals at that point. I'm going to give you a writing prompt now to encourage you to take what you have today and write it. But I want to tell you one of the biggest lessons I've learned from writing A Story a Day in May and leading a community of writers both in May and year round for years now. The biggest surprise to me has been that writing is not really about talent, and it's not really about any skills that you have. Success and happiness in your writing life is almost entirely a matter of tricking yourself into writing when you can. And this does not go away. I've interviewed enough best-selling authors to know that they all have a bag of tricks to get themselves to write. Sometimes it's a contract that's going to pay them, or that's already been paid partly to them. Sometimes it is walking on a treadmill so they don't get fidgety while they're writing. Anne Patchett apparently did that with her latest novel. She wrote it all on a treadmill desk while she was walking. So you are not less than anyone else as a writer because you need to trick yourself into doing it. Our brains are messy places, and you will almost certainly never grow out of the need to trick your brain into doing the thing you want to do that makes you happy. Do not think this makes you less of a writer. If something physical is getting between you and your writing, do not think that this makes you less of a writer. These are just the realities of being human and striving to do something incredible, like creating worlds and characters out of your head and sharing them with people. It's difficult, it's scary, it's thrilling, and we're never, ever going to be as good as we want to be. And that's where the fun part comes in, because you're always striving for that next step into the next piece of brilliance. And it will be 2 steps forward, 1 step back, sometimes 1 step forward, 2 steps back. And you are completely normal if this is you. Okay, your writing prompt today is to sit down and write for 25 minutes. You don't need to write a complete thing today. I will be prompting you to do that during the challenge in May, but you don't need to write a complete thing today. It can be satisfying if you do. But if you haven't been writing, or if you're really stuck, just writing anything for 25 minutes is going to feel really good. I'm going to prompt you to write about a character who is ambitious, who's got really high ambitions for themselves. They want to be the world's best ice dancer, or they want to be the Nobel Prize winning scientist. This piece of research they're doing is really important to them. So they're very hard on themselves. They drive themselves. They're ambitious. Sometimes they have success. I want you to give them a moment in your writing today where something external happens. Somebody says something to them, or they observe something where they realize that falling short of their goals sometimes can be a good thing. Yes, it's not a very subtle writing prompt. Yes, I am trying to get you to think deeply about this, but that's what I would like you to write about today. Set a timer for 25 minutes, pick a character, make them hugely ambitious. They can be charismatic, they can be funny, they can be a bit of a jerk, whatever you decide to make them. And then give them a moment where they give themselves a moment of compassion today. I'll be back with another live session tomorrow, talking more about writing and lessons from 15 years of running StoryADay May. If you would like to join us this year, The challenge is free. You can sign up at storyaday.org/sign up. There are lots of other things there, courses and ebooks and things like that you can take a look at if you're looking for more inspiration. I'm Julie Duffy, and I hope that you will keep writing.